This week, we're talking about truck campers versus travel trailers and why you might want to choose one or the other for your adventures. If you've watched much of my channel here on Wander with Kate, you know that I have done a lot of traveling in my truck camper that I built last summer, which has been wonderful. The truck camper allows me to get down very remote roads. It's nimble, smaller areas. We can camp just about anywhere in that truck camper. But sometimes I like to bring a little bit more luxury along on my trips, and that's where the travel trailer comes in. So to start with, I'm going to take you guys into the travel trailer. We'll look around and start talking about the differences there. Welcome to my second home away from home. Well, I don't actually own this travel trailer. It's owned by a family member. I have spent a fair amount of time traveling in it in the last year. So since June of 2023, I drove up to Alaska in my truck camper. Then I came back and I spent a month on the road going out to Nova Scotia in this travel trailer. I was back in this travel trailer in June to finish up some U.S. national parks down in Florida. And then I was back in the truck camper for another month to explore Utah. So I've been back and forth a fair amount between these two setups. And I want to talk a little bit about why I like one versus the other for different types of trips. So there's probably two big differences between these travel styles. One is my ability to access remote backcountry sites. And two is how comfortable is the setup. And that's where these two are fairly different. With the truck camper, I can simply get in my truck, drive wherever I want, not worry about where I'm headed. I don't have to worry about turning around on back roads. I don't have to worry about how big parking lots are. I don't have to worry about how rough the terrain is. That truck camper can get just about anywhere that a regular car with four-wheel drive can get. And so that really opens up my options. For example, when I went to Utah, I wanted to take some backcountry loops, boondock wherever, and the truck camper is really easy to do that in. In contrast, the travel trailer takes a little more preparation. You have to really double check your Google Maps drives. You don't want to start getting down a road that there's nowhere to turn around in. We have a fairly small travel trailer that I'm sitting in. It's about 22 feet in length. And you can definitely get smaller ones that are easier to turn around in small spaces, but you're still towing something. And so it does take a little bit more work to get turned back around if something dead ends. It also isn't something that fits in a regular parking spot. So if you're going to run errands and you want to go to little tourist locations, there's been many a time where I've had to skip something simply because the trailer itself doesn't fit in the parking lot. Now, you might be saying, well, why not just leave the trailer at the campsite and go and do your things with just your tow vehicle? And you can. And honestly, we'll talk a little bit more about that later. It is one of the benefits to be able to leave your campsite set up and just take your tow vehicle. But I like to stop a lot of places on my route. So you were driving from one campsite to another, and I have the trailer with, and there's nowhere to drop it. And so it's harder to get into tight parking spots and harder to go in areas that are really crowded when you're pulling the trailer. Again, in contrast, the truck camper can park in any lot that my Toyota Tacoma can fit in. So that's really nice. Another thing that makes the truck camper ideal for faster paced road trips is that it doesn't take as much effort to set it up once you get to your campsite. So when I'm driving the truck camper, all I have to do is find the campsite, drive into it, find a relatively level spot in the campsite, and then pop up the top of my truck camper. That's it. Nice and simple. But when I am driving the travel trailer around, it takes a little bit longer to get it all set up. So I have to find the campsite, then I have to back the trailer in. Occasionally we get a pull-through site, but mostly it's back in. And so it takes a little more work to back in a trailer than it does to just back in the truck itself. Once I have the travel trailer backed into the site, I have to assess the levelness from side to side and maybe put in a little brick on one side or the other to level it. Then I have to detach the trailer from the tow vehicle. So a lot of up and down in the front to get the sway bars off and to get the hitch released. Once the trailer is disconnected from the tow vehicle, I then have to level the travel trailer from front to back. And so we have a level, and we just set that in the travel trailer and make sure that the bubble is where it needs to be to get it all nice and leveled. And then I have to go ahead and put the stabilizers down. So it's not a huge chore to get all of this set up, but it does take a little bit of time, definitely more time than it takes me to pop up my truck camper. So that's another reason that it's nice to leave the travel trailer in place for a few days, is that it just takes a little bit more work to get it all set up. I've definitely taken the travel trailer on trips where I've changed campsites frequently, and it's very doable, but not as convenient as pulling in with the truck camper. And of course, setup for your travel trailer will vary depending on the size, but all of them have some amount of unhitching and leveling and putting stabilizers down before you're ready to crawl in and sleep for the night. And of course, the whole process has to be reversed when you're ready to leave your campsite in the morning. That being said, while the truck camper is so portable, so easy to drive, I don't have to worry at all about towing while I'm on the road, doesn't have to get hooked up, any of those things. I can be in and out to campsites whenever I want to be. It does lack a little bit in the creature comforts. The travel trailer has a full fridge. It has a bathroom with a shower in it. We have a table and seats and this couch. So there's a little bit more creature comfort there. It has a full stove in it and water system. Now, you can get truck campers purchased that have a lot of these features, but there's just more space in this travel trailer than there is in my little tiny truck camper. And so I love bringing the travel trailer when we are taking slower paced trips. The truck camper, because it's so portable and easy to get around, is great when I'm just spending one night at a place moving, one night at a place moving, one night at a place moving. The travel trailer really shines if you want to spend 3 to 4 nights somewhere. So you're going to drive your trailer to a spot, you're going to park it, you're going to set it up, get it in place, unhitch your tow vehicle. You can run around, do all the fun things in your tow vehicle, and the travel trailer stays at your site. It is so relaxing to be able to just come back and everything's set up. You don't have to pop anything up. You don't have to set anything up. You don't have to be looking for campsites. Your travel trailer can stay where it's going to be set. And if you're not going far on the back roads, if you're sticking to actual campgrounds and well-known, easily accessible boondocking sites, the travel trailer is easy to get there too. Easy to get there, easy to leave there. So for me, the real crux of which one I'm taking is all about the speed and the remoteness of my travel. If I want to go to Minnesota state parks, if I'm staying in national park campgrounds, this little travel trailer is fantastic. We go, we set it up, we can stay for a few days in the area and then move on to the next one. But if I want to go down bumpy dirt roads, into the middle of nowhere, small parking lots, changing my campsite every day, the truck camper is the way to go. So your decision on which one's right for you is going to completely depend on your travel style and also how big of a trailer and a truck camper you want to haul around. It's the best of both worlds to have access to both, to be able to take slower, leisurely trips in the travel trailer and to take remote trips where I'm moving campsites every night in my truck camper. But if I had to choose just one, honestly, the truck camper has been so portable and so wonderful for the style I like to travel. I love being able to pull into parking lots along my route without worrying about what I'm towing. I love not having to worry about backing a trailer into sites in the dark when I arrive late. The truck camper is just really portable, easy, and I just don't feel like I'm driving more than my truck around, and everything's still there in the back of it when I want to set up to camp. If I was trying to find the best of both worlds, I may upgrade to a slightly larger truck camper someday, so I have more of the amenities that I have inside this travel trailer. But if I ever slow down on the style of travel that I like, where I want to spend a week plus in one spot, having a travel trailer that you can unhook, leave at your site, have it all set up and waiting for you to return from your hiking adventures, someday I'll probably be moving more into this style more frequently. So let me know in the comments section below, do you have a favorite? Do you prefer the mobility of a truck camper? Or do you like having a trailer to leave at your site? Of course, there's other options too. There are vans that you can live out of, so Class B RVs, and there's Class C RVs. I haven't traveled much out of a van or a Class B RV, but I have done a Class C, and I liked that too. But the challenges of being able to get to popular crowded parking lots was even worse with the Class C RV because you can't just unhook your car and go to these little parking lots. You have to drive your big home on wheels around everywhere you go. So that was a little challenging. I love not having to worry about hitching it up and having all the features, but it is not a style of vehicle that I will be getting again soon. I will be sticking to travel trailers and truck campers for the foreseeable future, and maybe someday I'll get to try that van life. All right, let me know your thoughts below and your opinions. I'm always curious to see how you guys like to travel.